I was meeting an American delegation just now, and I was telling them that please, the new government of Mr. Trump, be clear on this point. When you export and process coffee, as we have been doing all this time, you get about $2.5 a kilo. The price is now a bit higher, but normally it was around $2.5 a kilo of very good coffee. What they call screen 18, the one with good seeds. When somebody goes and makes coffee, powdered coffee out of that, he may get as much as $40. Now, according to the present value of business in the world of coffee, the present value is $460 billion, the value of coffee business in the world. How much are the coffee exporting countries getting out of that? Only $25 billion. $460 billion, but all the coffee growing countries of the world, all of them, Brazil, Colombia, Vietnam, Uganda, Africa, you get $25 billion. Our wonderful Africa, out of that, gets $2.5 billion. And 1.6 billion of that is coming to Uganda now. But this is because of the high coffee prices. Normally Uganda gets about 900 million out of the 2.5 billion. So, now, if you take a raw material like cotton, so in other words, in every kilogram of coffee, Africa is donating about more than $20 to the rest of the world, if not more. But also donating jobs. If you take textiles, cotton has got like 6 job levels. You grow the cotton, that's some job. When you harvest the cotton, you gin it, you remove the seeds. That's another level of jobs, the ginneries. Now, much of the African cotton has been ending there. They export what they call lint cotton. Cotton without seeds, after removing the seeds. Then somebody else goes and does the spinning. Spinning is another level of jobs. Then the weaving, that's another level of jobs. Then the printing of colors, that's another level of jobs. Then the tailoring now to make garments, that's another level of jobs. Of course, there are other values in cotton which Africans were not bothered with. Gunpowder is from cotton. People don't know that. That's why the Chinese were taking a lot of cotton. Because part of the cotton is what you use to make nitrocellulose, which makes the gunpowder. So that's another bottleneck. They're relying on raw materials, exporting. You are donating money and donating jobs. When you see these children dying in the Mediterranean, going to Europe, this is the problem. They are being killed by these economies of raw materials. So you can go to every raw material, whether it is agro-based or minerals. Some people wanted us to export. We have got very good iron ore here. The best in the world, high grade, 70% pure. It's the best. There's no, only the one of Peru is near, about 50%, but ours is much higher. So some people wanted us to export iron ore, or tare, we call it in our language, to India. And one of our districts, where some people who are here, whom I see come from, had already made a deal with India that we sell our iron ore to them as iron ore. I said over my dead body, I have banned all the export of unprocessed minerals from here. Let them stay in the ground. When the grandchildren come, they will get them out.
Africa's story has long been one of riches taken and opportunities lost. For centuries, the continent's vast wealth, its gold, diamonds, oil, and fertile soil, has drawn outsiders from every corner of the globe. They came with promises of partnership and progress, but too often those promises faded into the background, replaced by the harsh reality of exploitation. Africa's story has long been one of riches taken and opportunities lost. For centuries, the continent's vast wealth, its gold, diamonds, oil, and fertile soil, has drawn outsiders from every corner of the globe. They came with promises of partnership and progress, but too often, those promises faded into the background, replaced by the harsh reality of exploitation. For generations, outsiders came for diamonds, oil, coffee, each resource a new opportunity for foreign fortunes to be made. The land was rich, but the people who called it home were left with little more than the dust in their hands, and the hope that things might one day change. Instead, locals were left with little but empty promises, broken infrastructure, and the lingering question, where did all the wealth go? The answer, for many, was clear. It left on ships and planes bound for distant lands. Uganda, the Pearl of Africa, knows this all too well. Its rolling hills and fertile valleys have been both a blessing and a curse, attracting those eager to extract value but rarely to invest in the people themselves. Its coffee and minerals built fortunes abroad, while Ugandans saw little benefit. The sweat and labor of Ugandan farmers and miners fueled industries in Europe and beyond, but at home, prosperity remained out of reach for most. The cycle was relentless: export raw goods, import expensive finished products, and watch others profit. The value added elsewhere, the jobs created overseas, while Ugandan markets filled with foreign-made goods that few could afford. But now, Uganda is ready to flip the script. A new generation of leaders, entrepreneurs, and citizens is rising, determined to rewrite the rules and reclaim the nation's destiny. This isn't just about money, it's about dignity and ownership. It's about Ugandans taking pride in their work, their land, and their future, and refusing to let history repeat itself. Why should Ugandan wealth build foreign cities while local schools and hospitals go underfunded? Why should children in Kampala dream of opportunities that seem reserved for others, while their own resources fuel distant economies? Leaders and citizens are demanding change. Across the country, voices are rising, calling for policies that keep value at home, for investments in education, healthcare, and innovation. The focus is shifting. It's not just what's in the ground, but what Uganda does with it. From processing minerals locally to building factories and training skilled workers, the country is charting a new course. The old story is ending. The page is turning from a history of extraction to a future of empowerment, where Ugandans write their own narrative. Uganda stands at a crossroads, determined to keep its wealth at home. The choices made today will shape generations to come. The winds of change are here, and this time, Ugandans are the heroes. They are the architects of their own future, united in purpose and hope. A new chapter is beginning, one written by Uganda for Uganda. The world is watching, but this time the story belongs to Ugandans themselves. In 2022, Uganda stunned the world with a discovery that seemed almost too incredible to believe. Deep beneath its rolling hills and rugged mountains, geologists uncovered a mountain of gold ore, estimated at over 320,000 tons, an amount that instantly captured the attention of governments, investors, and ordinary people across the globe. This isn't just a lucky find. It's a game-changer for Uganda, a nation whose fortunes could be transformed overnight. The excitement was palpable, with celebrations erupting in mining towns and hope surging through communities that had long struggled with poverty. Experts believe this deposit could yield up to 31 million tons of refined gold, a staggering figure valued at over $12 trillion. To put that in perspective, it's enough gold to reshape not just Uganda's economy, but potentially the global gold market itself. That's more than the GDP of most countries, and it dwarfs the annual budgets of entire continents. The sheer scale of this find is almost unimaginable. What's even more remarkable is that the gold isn't concentrated in just one place. It's spread across multiple regions: Busia, Karamoja, and beyond, each with its own unique story and potential. For years, small-scale miners and local prospectors suspected there were riches hidden below their feet, but it took new high-tech geological surveys to reveal the true scale of what lay beneath the surface. Uganda, long reliant on coffee exports and a thriving tourism industry, now stands on the brink of an economic transformation that could touch every corner of society. This discovery could diversify the economy, create new industries, and build resilience against global shocks. It's a chance to invest in infrastructure, education, and healthcare for generations to come. Suddenly, Uganda is a major player at the global table. Investors are circling, world leaders are paying attention, and the eyes of the world are fixed on this East African nation. The question now is clear: how will Uganda use this golden opportunity? Will it be a blessing for all, or a resource curse as seen elsewhere? Will the country repeat the mistakes of the past, where wealth led to conflict and inequality, or will it chart a new course towards shared prosperity and sustainable growth? The stakes have never been higher. Uganda stands at a crossroads with the world watching to see which path it will choose. Uganda's past is a lesson in lost potential. For decades, raw resources, copper, cobalt, gold, were shipped out unprocessed. The real profits were made overseas, while Ugandans got crumbs. It's like selling cocoa beans for pennies while others sell chocolate for dollars. This model left Uganda with underfunded schools, poor infrastructure, and few skilled jobs. The country did the hard work, but others reaped the rewards. That's why the new gold find is met with both excitement and caution. People remember the old story and want a different ending. The opportunity now is to break the cycle. Build factories, train workers, and keep value at home. The gold discovery is a chance to transform Uganda from a supplier to a producer. The goal: ensure Ugandans benefit from their own wealth. This time the riches must stay where they belong. Uganda is changing the rules of engagement. In a country where natural resources have often left with foreign companies, the government is now determined to rewrite the story. The focus is on building a future where Ugandans are not just bystanders, but active participants and beneficiaries in their own economic destiny. Enter Wagagai Mining, a Chinese company investing over $200 million, not just to mine but to build a gold refinery in Busia. This is a bold move, signaling a new era of partnership. The investment is more than just capital, it's a commitment to long-term growth and shared prosperity. Processing gold locally means more value stays in Uganda. Instead of exporting raw materials, Uganda can now refine and export finished gold, capturing more of the profits and creating a ripple effect throughout the economy. This creates skilled jobs in engineering, metallurgy, and management. Young Ugandans are being trained to operate advanced machinery, manage complex operations, and lead teams, skills that will serve the country for generations. The government insists on local employment and infrastructure that benefits communities: roads, power, clean water. These projects don't just support the mines, they uplift entire regions, connecting villages, powering homes, and providing safe water for families. Education and entrepreneurship are also part of the vision. Training centers are equipping the next generation with technical skills, while local businesses are finding new opportunities to grow alongside the mining sector. This partnership is a blueprint: foreign capital and expertise, but Ugandan control and benefit. It's a model that balances international cooperation with national interests, ensuring that Ugandans have a real stake in their resources. The refinery is just the start. The goal is a thriving local industry. With each new facility, Uganda moves closer to becoming a regional powerhouse in gold processing and export. The government is also setting standards for all investors, responsible, transparent, and beneficial to Ugandans. Strict guidelines ensure that every project meets the highest expectations for ethics and sustainability. It's a smarter, more strategic approach. By planning for the long term, Uganda is building a foundation for prosperity that will last well beyond the current generation. Uganda provides the gold, partners bring technology, but the profits and progress stay home. This synergy is transforming the mining sector into a driver of national development. This is how you build a future, not just a mine. It's about creating opportunities for families, empowering youth, and laying the groundwork for a stronger, more independent Uganda. The dream team is in place. Now it's time to deliver. With vision, partnership, and determination, Uganda is turning its resources into real, lasting progress. Opportunity means nothing without rules. Uganda's new Mining and Minerals Act is a game changer. Investors must now process minerals inside the country, no more dig and dash. The law requires companies to build refineries and add value locally. Enter the Uganda National Mining Company, UNMC, a state-owned firm with a 15% stake in every large mining project. Now the government is not just a regulator, but a shareholder. This ensures profits are transparent and stay in Uganda. The UNMC represents Ugandan interests in every deal. This structure fights corruption and keeps wealth from leaking abroad. The new rules demand accountability and national benefit. Uganda is open for business, but on its own terms. The goal turned potential into real progress for all citizens. This is Uganda's golden ticket to a new future. What does $12 trillion in gold mean for Ugandans? It's not about gold chains, it's about building a nation. The gold revenue can fund thousands of jobs, not just in mining but across the economy. Imagine schools with resources, hospitals with medicine, and roads connecting every village. Infrastructure, highways, airports, railways becomes possible. Reliable power and clean water reach every home. The gold is a catalyst for real, visible change. The goal: close the gap between rich and poor, city and village. Every Ugandan child, no matter where they're born, should have a shot at success. This is about shared prosperity, not just wealth. The dream: a generation from now, Ugandans look back and see this as the turning point. Gold is the foundation for a brighter, more equal future. Striking it rich can be a blessing, or a curse. Many countries with oil or gold ended up with more corruption and poverty. Uganda knows the risks: corruption, mismanagement, and illegal gold smuggling. Billions can vanish if not managed well. Uganda's defense, strict laws, transparency, and the UNMC's oversight. Formalizing small-scale mining brings everyone into the legal system. Civil society and journalists are watching, demanding accountability. Public pressure is a powerful check on abuse. The challenge is real, but Uganda is facing it head-on. With vigilance and strong institutions, the resource curse can be avoided. President Museveni made it clear: no more exporting raw minerals. Uganda will process its gold at home, no exceptions. This is economic independence in action. The message to investors: bring your refineries, not just your shovels. The president's stance gives real weight to new laws and partnerships. Local value addition is now a national priority. Foreign companies must invest in Uganda's industrial capacity. This is about pride, ownership, and a new power dynamic. The promise: Uganda's gold will build Uganda's future. The era of exploitation is over. Uganda's gold story is bigger than mining. It's a test for a new African narrative, one of ownership, not exploitation. If Uganda succeeds, it sets a model for the continent. This is about empowerment, building industries, creating skilled jobs, and reinvesting profits at home. Uganda is negotiating from strength, not weakness. The shift from dependence to ownership is the real revolution. The road ahead is tough, but the foundation is strong. With new laws, a national mining company, and public vigilance, Uganda can turn gold into lasting progress. Success here could inspire a wave of change across Africa. The world is watching. Uganda's next chapter could light the way for millions. Like, share, and subscribe to Divine Earth Africa for more truth, unity, and powerful African stories. Together we rise.